What's going on? My name is Mike, and I am going to be starting this CDL course here. This is coming from the Oklahoma Driver's Manual, page 1 of 1. We're going to start out with the different classes of vehicles, and we're going to cover different things from Class A vehicles, which look similar to that, Class B vehicles, that'd be a Class B, and here would be a Class C. And of course, we got the Class D, which you might have in your pocket right now, and you're able to drive something similar to that right there. But we're going to go through all the different classes and get ourselves uh, get ourselves acquainted with what the different classes of vehicles are. Now, I'm going to go in here and pull this up. So, CDL classifications. The CDL classification vehicle classifications included in the federal standard, together with the types of cargo to be transported, determine what type of CDL license and endorsement an applicant must apply for. There are three basic vehicle classes or groups. Now, I'll go in here and we're going to talk about the first one, which is the Class A, and I'll read the part about that. A Class A combination vehicle is any combination of vehicles with a gross combination weight rating, GCWR, of 26,000 pounds, 26,001 pounds or more, uh, falls into the Class A group, provided the GVWR of the vehicle being towed is more than 10,000 pounds, which means that if the trailer that is being pulled behind is 10,000 pounds or more, you must have a Class A. Most Class A vehicles are trucks such as truck, tractor, semi tractor trailers, or a truck and a trailer combinations like doubles and triples. However, tractor trailers, buses may be found in a few communities. Now, up in Chicago and stuff, they have these long buses that actually have like a trailer section on the back. But we're not going to be covering that. In this entire series, I will not be covering anything to do with passengers. I never wanted to pull passengers, never wanted to haul them. So if you're looking for the or school bus endorsement or passenger endorsement, I'm going to be covering everything except those two. So just to let you know right off the bat, driving a Class A vehicle requires considerably more skill and knowledge than driving in Class B and C. Since the skills of a Class A driver include those required to drive a Class B, basically and C, with a Class A license, you can drive Class B and C and D vehicles. All right. So with a Class A license, you can pretty much drive anything you want. That brings us to Class B licenses. Now, I'm frozen up there for some reason. I don't know how long I'll be frozen for, but I'm going to go ahead and read this. But what you're looking at there is a Class B truck. And it's a heavy straight vehicle. In other words, typically they don't have any uh, trailers behind them. Any single vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating of 26,000 pounds or more pounds falls into this group, or any such vehicle towing another vehicle not in excess of 10,000 pounds. So, the key difference between a Class A and a Class B is both of them can pull trailers. The Class A can pull trailers 10,000 pounds and more, and the Class B can pull trailers that are 10,000 pounds or less. It's the main takeaway. The GVWR, gross vehicle weight rating, Class B includes straight trucks and large buses, including articulated buses. Safety driving these heavy vehicles requires considerably more skill with the vehicles than a Class C. So basically, it's going to say if you have a Class B vehicle or a Class B license, you can drive a Class B, C, or D vehicle. And it kind of repeats itself down. Now we'll move on into the Class C, and I'll give you a little information on the Class C. and we'll get rid of my frozen face up there on the top. So the Class C vehicles, you can drive these in the state of Oklahoma with a Class D, depending on the application, the company, and what type of freight you're being hauled in them. But I'm going to read the description of the Class C as take a gander at that picture and get it ingrained in your head of what Class A, B, and C trucks look like. Class C, small vehicles. Any single vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating less than 26,001 pounds falls into this group, or any such vehicle towing another vehicle not in excess of 10,000 pounds. So this right here is basically saying that neither vehicle can exceed 26,000. So the combination can't exceed that. However, a vehicle of this size are included in the CDL program only if they are designed to carry 16 passengers, including the driver, which means that you can carry 15 passengers and the driver makes 16. You'll need to have a Class C. If they are used to transport hazardous materials in quantities requiring placarding under the hazardous material regulations. Now, the hazardous material placarding normally starts at 1,000 pounds. And so if you're planning on pulling more than 1,000 pounds of hazardous cargo, then you would need to have a Class C license to drive. But if you got a Class A, you pretty much got it made. Now, if you're carrying over a certain amount of hazardous material, which we'll get into later, you'll need a hazardous material endorsement. And I'm going to go through all that at a later date. So there's a great variety of vehicles in the Class C. Some rather large Class C vehicles may require more skill and knowledge to operate than they do smaller ones. However, the licensing category is based principally on the type of cargo carried. Because of the seriousness of an accident, hazardous materials, or hauling human passengers, the safe operation of even the smallest vehicles in Class C requires special knowledge, and the drivers of these vehicles must have a CDL. State options. So the states really regulate the Class C. In Oklahoma, I see a lot of people drive some vehicles where you would think there needs to be a commercial, but it's really up to the state, and you really need, depending on what type of hauling you're doing, just call up and check with the state of Oklahoma to see if you need a Class C CDL for what you may be doing. Some states may include more drivers in vehicles in their CDL programs. For example, in some states, a CDL may be required for buses designed to carry fewer than 16 passengers. Going beyond the federal standard is acceptable, and the state will need to decide which battery of test applies to these drivers, or develop a new battery of test, which is why when you look through the CDL manual for the state of Oklahoma, you will see you will see a lot of times the you'll see blank spots in the manual, and that's for them to write future laws and regulations and all that good jazz. The only vehicle that we haven't covered is the vehicle that the Class D license. And the Class D is basically a vehicle that looks something like that, your four-wheel vehicle. And I just chose this because it kind of represents the entire spectrum from when you go to a Class D license to a Class A license on what you're able to drive. Pretty much you can go from a car like that to a big truck like that. And the Class A, you have a lot more options open to you. Like I said, we're going to mainly concentrate on the Class A stuff. I'm going to have to tell you a lot of stuff about Class B because during the general knowledge test, you will have Class B questions, and you will also have some questions on hazardous material. But I hope this helped you out. This is, like I said, page 1 of 1, and this is just a general outline of the different classes of vehicles that there are and why you need a CDL in order to, drive one of these big vehicles. And there's a lot of education coming in the next year on this subject, and hopefully by the time this whole video series gets put out, maybe I can help train, a few thousand drivers, or hell, maybe, people just look at this and do it. But there's one other thing that I want to do before I go here, and we're going to take a look at a list of acronyms that you'll see in your manual. GVWR stands for Gross Vehicle Weight Rating. GCWR stands for Gross Combination Weight Rating. CDL stands for Commercial Driver's License. DOT stands for Department of Transportation. FMCSA stands for Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. And CLP, which will be the first thing you're going for, is probably your Commercial Learner's Permit. That's what CLP stands for. But with that said, this is my very first video on this OBS, and I hope it went pretty smoothly, and I'll talk to y'all later. Have yourself a great day.